I saw a stat today. Sample size for Bill Belichick games without Tom Brady. Obviously, going back to the Cleveland days. 160 games, 75 and 85. Is Bill Belichick just not a good coach without? I mean, it appears
come on.
that listen, hear me out. If you give a coach a sample size of 160 games, which is what in the olden days for 17 games, that's 10 years of 16 game regular season football. If they are going 75 and 85, they're never making the playoffs. And they're getting fired in like year 3 of 10. Okay. There's no way in hell anybody else gets that grace. I am absolutely mystified why people refuse to actually look at his record without Tom Brady and go, because you know what? Tom Brady's record without Bill Belichick is better than Bill Belichick's record without Tom Brady. 75 and 85 in 160 games is not good.
Okay, it's not good, but I think like when I think about Bill Belichick, it's not just like what he's been able to do in terms of winning, but like the impact on the game is insane. Like if you look at what Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, because those guys were on the two staffs together in Cleveland back in the day. Those guys are like the godfathers of all the modern coverages that you're seeing right now. Like even going back to like when Nick Saban was back at Michigan State and Bill Belichick was doing his stuff with the Giants. Like it's like the impact on the game is it's so heavy that it's hard for me to say that, you know, he's like a mediocre coach even without Tom Brady. But I will say, like, it's definitely made me think about like the impact that quarterbacks have on the game versus head coaches have on the game. Because when Tom Brady left Bill Belichick, I was like, I saw that as like an equal partnership in terms of like their hand in success, because Bill Belichick, like he's done a lot with maybe some guys that wouldn't have been starters in other teams where he's been able to get them to come in on his defense and play pretty well. It's a funny question because I think that's been like a lot of courses for debate over the past couple years. But I would say like my conclusion on the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick stuff is that your quarterback is probably more important than your head coach. But when they're really great, like they both are, you can win 6 Super Bowl titles. Sorry, Tom has 7, Bill only has 6. That's my cop-out answer right there.
The way he worked before is not going to work. Like, if he does not have success, okay, I don't think it's going to work with Robert Kraft. I don't think it's going to work with the media. I don't think, like, you can do all that bullshit for as long as you want. Drink the OJ, push people's recorders back. Honestly, kind of be a to the media, and I'm with most people on that. I don't care. Like, if you aren't, whatever, you are what you are. Everybody's different. Everybody wants to be covered differently. The way he has handled this situation, I watched the most recent presser. It was after the game against the Bears, where he was clearly getting pressed on, like why was
true
Mac
presser
Jones?
If he's getting pressed, right?
Yeah, true presser is getting pressed. He's getting asked why Mac Jones, was basically benched. Was he benched? Like, why was he benched? Was he benched for performance? And he made a comment like, you're going to write it the way you want to write it or what? No, people are asking to be accurate. You don't have to be a okay? And it's this whole routine. You can get away with it when you're playing really well and you're winning, games and championships and you put up with all this stuff. If they just turn into a mediocre football team, if they're the 3rd best team in the AFC East going forward, I guarantee you right now, I'll say it right now, starting in 2023, we're going to start asking the question, if this is still going on, we're going to start asking the question like, okay, like when does this become an issue for Robert Kraft?